Hello and welcome to Rainy Tuesdays, a podcast by friends for friends. Today we're here with Adam,
Hello,
Margot,
Hi.
and special guest, returning guest, Esther.
Hi.
How's everyone doing?
pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely been a very long time since we've had you here, Esther.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I
But
don't
always a
even
delight.
remember when that was. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know, the last episode might have been the one that was just you and I, when I was visiting. But maybe one since then. Maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. Anything fun happening in anyone's life before we force our way into it?
I get to drive and hopefully not crash some tractors tomorrow, so that's
Ooh.
A
exciting.
delight.
Yeah.
I love that for
Indeed.
you. What
Yes.
machine are you most excited for?
I think the excavator, because I got to do that one on the simulator, and it was a lot of fun, but it was also very challenging. So I'm excited to hopefully do better than I did on the simulator. I definitely cut it through some of the dirt that you're not supposed to cut, and it
Sure.
was also slightly in a hole, but it's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah, didn't tip it over in real life, so
Yeah, I got
It's
certified to move heavy machines, and excavator is definitely the most fun because it just feels like a big sandbox.
yes.
Wait,
oh my
that's
gosh,
so
yes.
cool. Oh man.
Like, we would
Okay.
dig trenches,
very
and what's
excited.
interesting too is because sometimes you have to get the excavator over the trench. So what you can do is you can put the bucket down on the ground, sort of as an arm, and then drive over the trench.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun.
That sounds amazing. That sounds really fun. Oh man.
That
for
would
someone
be
who
so
hates
cool.
driving, love driving not car things.
Mhm.
It's a very fun time. I have an uncle who lives on farmland, and I've driven a lot of the big farm tractors. Great time. Love it. It's just a blast. ATVs, a good time. Cars, ugh, icky.
I would like cars
Anything
that
but
had
cars.
a giant shovel at the end of it.
Yeah, I would love cars if it was more fun, but it's just not. It's so boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, excavators sound very, very cool to drive. Are there any that sound boring and not even worth it?
Not really. I
Okay.
think they have this one machine that's a leveler, and I'm that's the least interesting, but it's still pretty interesting. They all have things. They all got buckets,
Love that.
shovels, and yeah.
Love a good shovel.
Yes.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Oh man, a good time. Alrighty. Well, we're doing a special episode today, and it's partially inspired by the podcast Story Break, which is a great time. Partially, I know that the tripod did something similar. It's basically we're gonna take the hour to write a story and/or movie. But we're gonna do it in our own way, put our own special little twist on it, which is just rolling dice. But also the story will ideally be original and not somehow a rip off of something else.
I don't know. I think you're overestimating us.
I have high confidence for a few reasons. Ryan loves movies. He's seen a lot of them. Adam writes and stuff.
Dabble.
Okay, we talked about this just before the podcast. So that's the same as Esther saying she dabbles at pool. Esther has such a fun imagination and will go into silly little bits all the time, which is great. And I have a list of things, so I feel like we're there. We've got collectively the brain power. So yeah,
Between the four of us, we can manage to put together a semi-comprehensible story.
exactly. So I'm gonna prep the timer. I have 3 lists: one for a hero, one for a villain, and one for a genre. Who wants to be each list person? And we'll have you guys pick a number and or roll for whichever list.
Okay.
I can do genre, I suppose.
Perfect. All right, Esther and Ryan. Who's the hero? Who's the villain?
I feel villainy.
Okay, I'll be the hero.
Got that evil laugh down. I mean,
Down. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
down bad.
maniacal.
Oh, so mean.
The meanest meme I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh
I
my
gotta say,
god.
I'm still confused, but I think I'll figure it out.
The rolling dice part is gonna be such a short part of it. I promise it shouldn't be that confusing.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
once we
I'm gonna
finish
look
it.
up. Should I look up a D20 then?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it.
Yeah. Let's go, Adam.
Alright. Roll a d20 then.
Yeah. Good
8.
dice roll sound. Beautiful. 8. Science fiction. I feel like
Okay.
that's doable for us.
Yeah.
We've got 2 engineers here. They know science.
The 2 engineers know science and the 2 others know fiction. We got this.
There you go. Together, you're the ultimate story writing machine.
The other day, I was playing code names with people. This is unrelated to whatever we're doing at all right now. But I was able to come up with the word titration, but I did like voice memo Esther to be like, is this what I'm thinking of? Is it titration? And then like I think either she responded or I looked it up or something. But I got validation that I was right. And so I was like, I'm a scientist, guys. But then I realized I do have a degree in political science. And then I felt dumb. But then they were like, yeah, my girl's a scientist.
That's why I have a bachelor's of science in history, so I can say I'm a scientist.
Yeah.
But I didn't take
yeah.
any science classes in college.
Fascinating.
That's those AP credits.
I took I took this really fun one that was basically the history of chemistry. And it was like chemistry's been around. That was
I
a whole
would
class.
enjoy that more than
Wow.
actual chemistry.
Yeah.
I really suck at actual chemistry.
Chemistry is a little icky sometimes. It's a lot to know, and you just kind of have to know it. And if you don't, it's bad.
I
Alright.
walked out of my chemistry final and I was like, I don't care how I did. I'm just glad to be done.
You're done. Yeah. I had a few classes
Honestly.
like that. Where you're like, well, it's over. Alrighty. For our hero, Ryan, do you want to roll?
Sure.
Nice. Well,
16.
16. Okay. The hero will be trying to find a purpose throughout it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, and then Esther.
I got the villain.
Someone-
It won't make a sense.
Someone roll for it to pretend that Esther's rolling.
Yeah, so we get that sound. All right, I got a 16 as well.
What? Guys.
I know.
These are all 8s and multiples of 8s.
They are. Well, it's funny because like when I pulled it up, it like automatically rolled and it showed up an 8. So I was like, well, we won't count that one. And then I rolled it again. I was like, well, at this point, this is where we're at.
Oh my god. Okay, so this is gonna be the ex-best friend of the hero is the villain.
Ooh,
Yeah. Could be interesting.
could be spicy.
Could be. Okay, so a science fiction story that has a hero that is trying to find their purpose and a villain that is the ex-best friend of the hero. That's our prompt. I am starting the timer now. Alright.
Okay, number 1. What kind of science fiction? Are we talking like cyberpunk type stuff? Are we talking Star Trek? Like, are we way going to space? Does it take place on Earth? What are we thinking?
This is fair. I do think that's the first question is space versus Earth.
Yes.
And then what type of space versus what type of Earth after that. I feel like space is fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with space.
Let's
Could
Okay.
work with
space.
finding your purpose as well.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true. Okay, so we're in space. Is it on a spaceship or is it like an alien planet kind of situation? Or both?
I think our hero has got to be the captain of a ragtag team of
Yes.
space.
Love
Maybe
it.
not pirates, but like
Okay.
Pirates! Space,
Space
pirates.
pirates.
space, but
Space
they're
pirates.
heroes. So like,
Right. A little Pirates of the Caribbean
Smugglers,
kind of
basically.
Space
situation.
pirates, but good.
Space pirates,
Good.
but good. I'm gonna write that down.
They find people and they're like, you need a lift, like a whatever the equivalent of a tire change in space is.
Maybe we could have like a little.
Yeah, Space AAA.
Maybe we could have a little like Robin Hood-esque element to it, like if they are like pirates and they're stealing stuff, like maybe they're also helping out other places with their stolen goods or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so pirates look good. Okay, how did the hero and villain know each other? Like if they're ex-best friends, where did they meet?
The
What was
villain's
their
gotta have been
relationship?
on the pirate crew.
I like it. Yeah. What
And maybe
house did
so they're stealing from like a big corporation, and the villain friend was like, I don't want to work for the pirates anymore, I'm gonna go work for the other side.
Oh,
Yeah,
They're a
swayed, going to
sellout.
the dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big old
Corporation is
sellout.
like, how about we give you this crazy salary if you sell your soul to us? And the villain's
Oh,
like,
I love
yes.
that.
Yeah.
I love that a lot, actually. Yeah. Okay. So, what do we think like this big corporation is? Like, does it like what do they sell? What is their thing? Or is it secretly just Amazon?
That's what I was thinking.
Did Bezos get
Base
his
Amazon.
factory base? It's just that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos combined their evil powers and created
Ooh.
a
Okay, so
super
is our
mega
villain
corporation.
like Vader and Elon Bezos is Palpatine? like is
You know
there
when
a
like
bigger villain?
evil corporate CEOs in
Mhm.
movies will like their sole obsession becomes to live forever. So what
Yeah.
if Bezos and Musk were like, what if we take our brains and combine them, so one half of each, together into a robot so that we can live forever, but together with the powers
Aw.
and intelligence and evilness combined.
Yeah.
It's kind
It,
of
took
cute
it
though.
took the evil sides of their brains, and like not the creative sides. Could be
That's why they needed the free thinkers. They're hiring all the like art people, and then they're like, sell out to us. And
Ooh.
art people are like, no, not the
Fair.
system,
Not the man.
not the man.
Oh my god. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So villain is a sellout.
Oh my gosh. Can they wear like a power suit of some kind? Like
They've
I don't.
gotta, right?
gotta
like
wear,
everyone in
like-
the corporate world has to have a power suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
With like the shoulder pads and like maybe like too big of shoulder pads.
Big
Like,
shoulder pads. Yeah.
yeah.
What do space pirates wear? Like, what does that get up?
That's a
Space
good
eye
question.
patches.
Space. What's the
Just
difference
one
between a
half of a
space?
Google Glass.
I like that.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. Okay. So what's like our starting point for the story? Like, do we watch the hero and villain like separate, or do they start separated and at some point we have a flashback to say like, oh my god, they were besties?
I think they start separated.
Start separated. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Because I feel like then you can have like a little twist somewhere in there to be like, and they were friends.
And they were roommates.
Roommates.
They were
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay. So
Would
okay.
it be one of those things where they were like, the hero's like actually really good at all the business stuff, but then was like, no, I can't
Wait.
do it.
Well, that's fair, because if the hero's trying to find their purpose, like they've got to have a lot of different routes that they could take. Space piracy
Yeah.
being one of them.
What if they had like they worked a soulless corporate job and they're like, I can't do this anymore. I have to take to the stars. And
Yeah,
become a
Wait,
pirate.
so
did.
were they okay? So in that case, would it be that they were friends in the corporate world and villain
Ooh.
stays in the corporate world and space pirate leaves, or did they?
I think it'd be more interesting if they switched roles. So like, how about the
Okay.
villain friend was what kind of led them to the pirate path,
Yeah.
and then when they get there, the villain is like, no, I can't do this anymore. I just got offered this crazy job. I have to take it. I'm betraying you. And then it's like, oh, you've become what I always hated. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
I like that.
maybe
little
the
switcher.
purpose is bringing the villain back to the pirate crew.
I like that because
Yeah.
especially if he like joins the villain's ex crew, and so like you have people being like really conflicted about the villain. I feel like that could be a cool dynamic.
Like, or like we were his friend or her friend or their
Yeah.
friend, and
Or
then,
like one of them like really super hates him now and is
Mm.
like, I cannot believe that guy. Like
Yeah.
that guy
Yeah.
sucks. But then like there's one who's like the little ship engineer and they're like, I don't know, I feel like he's just lost his way. And that really speaks to the hero because he's lost his way.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Okay, so they do a little switcheroo. Okay. What if the villain is captured by the corporate people, and that's how villain and hero meet, and then hero's got a little Harley Quinn Joker moment of like, oh, when I was talking to him while he was captured, and like suddenly I get it.
Wow.
Interesting. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out when they become best friends. Because that's got to be established. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if they're not from the same world.
Yeah.
What
There's
if
got
they
to be
were,
some
like-
time together.
Yeah. What if like childhood friends reunited in the future? They took different paths and then they switched back.
I
Yeah.
like
It's like a
that.
whole thing.
Yeah.
You guys ever seen Flipped?
No,
Nope.
is that like a thing?
Flipped is a little rom-com about like these tiny little, like a tiny little boy and a tiny little girl, and as they're growing up, the girl has a huge crush on the guy, but then the moment that like she stops liking him, he starts liking her, and is all about how like they keep flip-flopping on each other. It's a romp. It's cute. Highly recommend. Okay, but so we have a flipped situation where they're childhood best friends. And the villain goes into piracy, hero goes into corporate, and they do a little switch. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. Fair enough. Well, that's a good start, I think. So like, I like the, I don't know if you guys learned it in elementary school too, but like that whole like little hill story thing.
With the
Like story
climax
format.
and then the falling
Yeah.
action,
Rising
the
tension,
rising action.
climax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw a little hill and like right along that for us to figure out like what we want. So we have like our start, our end, and rising and falling, and our climax. So are there any parts of these that we're like certain of, like how it should start, how it should end? I feel
Are we
like part
doing
of
just
the
a straight bump or like a bump the bump?
I just drew a straight bump, but we can do like another little bump somewhere in there. Yeah, like we can make as many hills as we want. Yeah, okay. I feel like the switch has to be part of like the rising action because I feel like we should establish them both in their first roles as the start or something of that sort. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
If it's if it's about the hero bringing the villain back from the terrible place, and it's not willing, like if you're gonna have to convince him to come back, I think that it should be a flashback when they like do all of like the childhood meeting and friends and then the other one too.
Yeah, I like kind of starting them pirate and corporate, and then you through time and story hints you learn what they used to be. And
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so start post switcheroo.
yeah.
Okay. Let's like expand upon side characters for both of them. Like who's our ragtag groups of pirates? Who are our like boss people in corporate world?
I feel like the boss person in the corporate world, the villain that turned into like a good person to villain to hopefully good person in the end.
Yeah.
I feel like they should have an animal sidekick.
Oh.
Because
Like a
Okay.
villain, like when they have like a little weasel, let's
Yeah.
say.
yeah.
Ooh, love a
Yeah.
good space weasel. Okay,
Yeah.
Villain has a space weasel.
Can the space weasel also wear a power suit?
Oh, for
Yes.
sure. It has shoulder
Because I was like,
pads.
as long as they
Yeah.
wear a power suit, I'm fine.
They have matching ties every day.
Yes.
I
Oh my
love it.
gosh. Yeah.
Oh my god. That's incredible.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Does the weasel talk, or is it not that kind of movie?
I was not gonna say it was that kind of movie,
Okay,
but I'm
fair.
open to it talking. If
The weasel like chitters, and the villain
Chitters.
understands it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't communicate to
that.
us, the audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
It's like
that.
R2D2 can be inferred.
Yes.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
like that's how we probably learn some of the stuff from the villain's point of view about like, oh yes, they used to be friends. Like,
Yeah.
the weasel will be like looking at old pictures and be like, and then he's like, ah.
Or we get like,
Yeah.
you know, in Enchanted, where the little like mouse character goes
Yes,
through like his
squirrel.
whole
Or chipmunk.
like charades. What is the
Yeah.
thing called?
Charades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, charades.
Trades.
Yeah.
Charades.
Where he's, I don't know, completely blanked on the word.
Yeah,
mean,
you
you're
just
not
made it
wrong.
fancier. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
It
I
would be
do
like
love
that. Like the weasel is like acting out scenes. And
Like,
it's like, yes,
oh
it
my
was
gosh.
very traumatic when I lost my best friend.
I love that.
Oh,
That's
that's
such
so
a good moment.
Mhm.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. What about like, are there any other like corporate people? Also, is the weasel gonna like stick with the villain even when he hopefully changes back? Also, the villain in here can be she's interesting. He like
Yeah.
plainly,
Mhm.
but yeah, like is the weasel like actually like, yo bro, you gotta stay corporate, or is the weasel okay with piracy? And if not, like if the weasel is okay with becoming a pirate weasel, who in the corporate world is gonna be like, listen, villain guy, stop it, you can't go pirate, you know?
I'm gonna say this is my big plot line for the weasel.
Okay.
So the weasel is playing both sides, and this is a spoiler for the end.
Oh.
But at the very end, we learn that the weasel has shorted the corporation's stock. So after they make a big heist and see a bunch of things, the weasel's like, haha, we're rich, because I knew this would happen.
And then the
Like
weasel
done
actually,
through like interpreted dance, and
Yeah.
then the weasel like jumps in a pile of money, and it's like, haha.
Can it also do one of those things where it's like kind of like a heist within the movie where it just does like a little flashback scenes of like the weasel being like tippity tapping on a computer, like doing all like the stock
going
things.
through the like laser beams,
Yeah.
and like the weasel has a little harness being lowered
Yes.
over a box to steal something. I like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and then it comes back and he's acting it out, and they're all like, I mean, we don't get it, but like, cool, like money, that's great.
Oh my god. Okay, so the weasel has a heist, and is playing both
like
sides.
complete subplot. Like
Yeah.
like you'll just be seeing him in the background. You know, like sometimes in Community. they go
Yeah.
up in the
Yes,
background,
like with
they're
Ahmed.
"Look." Like the people just be arguing on the pirate ship, and you'll see the weasel like slowly zip lining down.
That's incredible. You just have the heist going throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
oh my god, I
Oh,
love
that sounds
that.
so good. Like
I love
you
that
come
so
for the
much.
space pirates, but you stay for the weasel heist.
Yes. The weasel is really the star of the movie, like the
It's
lovable
really
side character.
2 movies in one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Okay. Yeah, so that's got to be going throughout it. So every time we come up with a scene, we need to think about like, or every time we come up with a corporate scene, we need to think about how the weasel is somehow
The
stealing
weasel is
things in
doing.
the background.
Yeah.
Okay. What about any other fellow space pirates other than our hero?
Mhm. Well, what is the hero's role on the space pirate ship? Like captain, I'm guessing.
Good question.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think
I
Captain.
think Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
makes it the most
Do-
interesting.
Yeah. Then you probably have to have like an engineer person.
Love a
To
good
run the
engineer
ship.
representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we got it.
Okay. What's this engineer like? I'm trying not to go straight Firefly in my mind. Like I am.
It's difficult.
It's
I know,
hard.
that was my thought. Is like I'd come up with a story where I was like, wait, that's just Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Kaylee is her name in Firefly?
I think so.
Yeah, something like that. I'm trying not to think of her, but that is my automatic thought of space pirate engineer. It's just her. But okay.
It's the super gruff, going complete opposite of Firefly. So this super gruff, long beard, like ash all over his arms and face, and he speaks in such a thick Scottish accent that you cannot understand a single word he says ever.
I like that.
So it'll be like very emotional moments, and he'll just have like a long speech, and no one understands a thing.
I don't know if any of you guys watch Great British Bake Off at all, but there's one Scottish contestant in this particular season, and it's really funny anytime he talks because he's so Scottish. One time he was talking about one of the judges, and he was like, "Stubborn git," and it was really funny. I'm not going to attempt the accent, but
yeah, I can't do a
really
Scottish accent, but
I can only do the line from
Brave.
Where it's like, if you had to change your fate, would
Would
you?
ya?
It's really only because it
Honestly.
sounds like if you had to change your feet.
Yeah.
Would ya? We know
Would ya?
Margot would.
I
She
would.
get swoopy legs.
I would get swoopy legs, as we all know.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I think the space engineer should have swoopy legs.
I like it.
All right.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Change it up.
Yeah, okay. Okay, what is he like gruff but like lovable, or is he just like, yeah, get out of my way, you stupid curmudgeon-y kind of thing?
I think like gruff but extremely lovable in the sense of like he's very intimidating, very gruff, very hard to be like, oh jeez, that dude. And then anyone like people go to him as if he's a therapist. So they like walk into like the machine room and they're like, I don't know, man, I'm just
They just
going
sit
through
down
this
on
thing.
one of his machines.
And
like,
and he like puts a hand on his shoulder, long speech in Scottish that not a single person understands. So like, you really understand me, man.
I love that. That's awesome.
oh my god, I think he should also solve every problem by comparing it to a machine. Like not working. Like you should really lean into that.
I know what you're going through with your best friend. This is exactly like when my motor broke down.
Exactly.
That's like
Yeah.
when the capacitor was not translating the electricity to the transistor. I don't know,
Sometimes
just
all it
eventually
takes is a simple tweak of a wrench. And
Yeah. He's like, find your wrench. And then
Yeah.
they're like, thank you.
Oh.
They leave and he's like, you need
Where's
a
my
wrench.
wrench? Yeah,
Find
oh
your
my
wrench.
god.
Plot
That's
twist, he was
the
talking
line.
about his wrench the whole time. Like he was just looking for his wrench.
In the background, you see the weasel taking the wrench right off.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my god. That's amazing.
That's it. That's it. 100%. Oh my gosh.
That's so beautiful. Jesus. Okay. Alrighty.
That's great.
So
Okay.
no, that scene is fully written already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what about I feel like we need to develop our hero and villain a little more.
Mhm.
Also we're at 40 minutes now. So
Oh
20
gosh.
minutes
What?
down. I know. Speeds
Dang.
along.
Yeah.
But yeah, like how do we feel about our hero and villain? Like how should we flesh them out more? Or are they like bland heroes and villains like so many stories have?
Like
I feel
audience
like-
surrogate
Right.
hero and
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I
at
want
what
the
point
hero to
do
have
we
cool boots.
what?
That's it. Just cool boots.
Cool boots. Okay, so
Like really
villain
cool
has shoulder pads, but like really padded shoulder pads, and
Yeah.
the hero has cool
That like look
boots.
obviously bad, and like
Yeah.
the hero's gotta have like really sick boots.
And like it.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
a thing with the corporations. They all have like really like bad shoulder pads, but
I
like
think
the
so.
villain really has it.
Like
So
his
there's,
is
like-
he's a like I feel like every corporate ladder, like every step up,
It's just another
is
shoulder
a bigger
pad.
shoulder pad.
I like the idea that they just like take up like like a pad and like put it on top and just like staple gun it on.
Yeah.
Like, boom, boom, boom. Good, you're go. Like get out of here.
That's your promotion, kid.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. Okay, so other than fashion though, what do we think about them?
I
Like,
think the hero could be like sort of bland, and like
okay.
maybe it's like they don't like their job at the corporation, so there's like some relatability there.
hmm I like
And
that.
then like trying
Okay,
to find their purpose. I think that's where it could be like relatability, but otherwise,
fair.
that's about it.
Yeah, and I think we can have like a lot of little good moments with them, like questioning, like, well, I left the corporate world, but now I'm in this completely opposite like situation, and I still don't feel like I've like done it or like found purpose kind of moment. And like,
Yeah.
what is it? Friendship
Yeah.
with the villain eventually.
Yeah.
That's what
Kinda
I'm
like-
getting at.
I like the idea that like like they haven't found their purpose. So if they did do like a flippity flop, maybe they could be like trying to act as the interim captain of the crew, and it's
Yeah.
like they're not that good at it, or the crew
Yeah.
doesn't respect them because it's like you just got here, the other guy left. What's going
Yeah.
on? It's like I don't know either.
Fair. Oh, I like that. Yeah. That's fair.
It's just kind of lost. Like everybody on the crew probably is.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you gotta have like a little found family moment. Yeah.
Or they will come together and be like, okay.
Right. Yeah. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. What are other things that we should like establish before being like, here's how the plotline will go? Or should we just dive into the plotline?
I feel like one more side character that's like
Okay.
causing tension. I love the engineer guy; he's great. But we need
Yeah.
probably one more that's just like
yeah, who
angry,
hates,
edgy.
Who hates ex-captain guy?
Mhm.
Yeah. Like, who hates the now villain? What is their job? What are ship jobs? This is
Pilot.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna ask what the difference between that and a captain is.
Captain
But-
tells the pilot where to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. All right. Okay, pilot is actually angry. I feel like that should be like the again the opposite, because I feel like the engineer looks like it would be the guy who hates X person. But we've got to have the pilot be like someone who just looks like the sweetest, most forgiving person in the world, but like actually holds like a big grudge, and is like super angry. I feel like we should have that.
Should they be like related to the bad person?
Oh, like a sibling or something.
Yeah.
That could be really cool.
Or
Yeah.
depending on how old the bad person is, like a child. I don't know.
Ooh, actually, okay, that could be really interesting, because if it was a child, then that could be the moment that tells the hero, like, yo, that villain guy was your best friend, because it could be like the child has photos from like a villain's like childhood and
Yeah.
is like looking through them and like suddenly puts together like, oh, this other person looks a lot like my new captain. Huh?
Yeah.
Like what's that about? That could be
Yeah.
interesting.
Or one of
Yeah.
those, how did you get that photo? And they pull it out of like their locket and they're like have the
Oh.
same one or the two halves
Yes.
or whatever. I don't
A
know.
parent trap moment.
It But like I guess they're the parents in this
yeah,
trap.
yeah. The parents are literally trapped. It's not the twin trap. But
Yeah.
okay, I like it. I like that a lot. So Pilot is the child and has the photo and is like, oh my god,
Yeah.
angry child
An angry child is just funny.
with photo.
What if they? How old should they be? Because they could be really like little and cute,
But like
then be,
really
like,
good at
super
navigation.
yeah, really good at navigation and like angry,
Fair.
like an angry small child.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
I
Or,
was
like,
thinking
a good-
adult.
that's
Oh, they're adult. I was thinking like moody teen.
Moody teen. Okay.
that seems like the happy middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
That does,
Okay, moody
yeah.
teen.
Between us, like a toddler.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I like moody teen.
Moody
deal.
teen. Great stuff. I'm gonna add emo for myself, but I do want them to be a space emo, whatever that looks
Yes.
like.
Maybe it looks like really normal.
Yeah, it actually just looks like a regular like kind of frat boy on our world. With that space emo.
Like a post, I don't know, like late stage capitalism,
Yeah.
horrible world, and it's just like a dude in with the little whale hat thing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like khaki pants, like
Yeah.
For
khaki
sure,
shorts,
khaki
polo.
shorts. Yeah,
khaki shorts, and like
Let's get one thing straight. They only wear shorts.
sure.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful. Alrighty. What about one more person on the villain's side character list? Other than the weasel? Because the weasel is wonderful and fantastic, but won't do much for keeping the villain where they are because the weasel has its own world going on.
Mhm.
It's got a whole second movie within the movie.
What if the corporate person had an intern?
An evil intern?
Unpaid
Yeah.
intern.
Yeah, that's gonna usurp them in the end.
I
Because
like
they're
it. That's
in it for
the
the
one.
gains.
Yeah.
But like for now, they're like, oh, you're so good, and you should stay and like keep doing good things, and I'll keep helping. And then they're like, bet, I'm stealing your job.
I love it.
Set up
Yeah.
for a sequel, and the
Yeah.
intern becomes a new villain.
Ooh, and they become the worst villain.
I
somehow.
actually adore that so much because it also sets up such a nice like counterpart to the moody teen. So that's beautiful.
And they look at them like their child, and then they realize they left their real child. Ugh.
Damn. Alrighty.
Because they did it to pay for art school. That's like the whole thing. It's like, I did this for you. And he's like, you could have just like not done it.
We gotta have an angry like Obi-Wan and Anakin scream off.
Oh yeah.
Like that's gotta happen somewhere in this. We'll figure out where.
Like we get like a little like lava in the background, and then they
Yeah.
actually zoom out, and it's like the effect on a screen in the middle of the corporate lobby.
Yes, literally yes. Oh my god.
Wait, will one of them like jump onto like a desk or something and be like, I have the high ground?
Oh my god. No, but I feel like having lava there would make a good thing for the weasel's laser moment because like they're both red and like bright and like full of light and stuff. So I feel like that could go well together. Like, yeah. Like pan out and you see like just in the room over there's lasers and like a shadowy weasel is jumping through them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I was
I like
thinking,
it.
that's great. I was thinking that they're arguing, looks like they're in lava, but then like maintenance staff walks by with a cart, and the maintenance staff is just the weasel with like a mustache, and they're pushing a cart, and there's like obvious money coming out from underneath the thing.
Yeah. Well, that makes much more sense too because that's probably at the like towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. So, yeah, maybe we can have the laser thing just be like they're standing out in the hallway somewhere, and like if you do like a wide
Like
shot
look
of
slightly
maybe
up,
intern
like,
and
through the
villain
vents is
talking.
someone like jumping through.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. So where does this movie start? Like how does it begin? How do we
Zoom in
introduce these people?
On the twin sons of Tatooine.
No. Back up even further. A scroll.
I was gonna say a scroll of like a space, the final frontier. Jeff Bezos and the money and the like the corporate world. Shoulder
War.
pads are back. War.
Destruction.
Unrest. In the
Pirates.
Oh my god. We're at 30 minutes. Okay. I feel like that was a good
Are we counting down?
Yeah.
Oh. That's the opposite.
Oh no.
I also did for a second,
Yeah,
like when you said 40, I was like, it's
"Geez,
been
we're
40
going
minutes?
No.
Yeah.
It's a timer. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we're halfway through.
Okay.
So first half, I feel like we got a good fleshed out character and like basic idea of things in the story. But now with the second half, let's plot the story and figure that out. Yeah. How does it start other than an obvious scroll?
I think we pan down on a planet, not Tatooine,
Yeah.
but we pan down on a
It has
planet,
3
and
suns.
the
Mm.
captain and his ragtag group of shipmates are conducting like a normal heist or
Mm.
normal job.
Mm-hmm.
And sometime in the middle of the job, it goes wrong. And oh no, the corporation and the best friend is involved, although they don't know that's best friend yet.
No. Yeah. Does best friend wear a helmet or something, or has it just been like the mask of time?
It's all
Because
the shoulder pads.
it's the shoulder pads, and because we established that the pirates all have eye patches, he doesn't have the eye patch anymore, and they
Good
don't
point.
recognize him. They're like,
Good
both
point.
your eyes? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I
As
like
a
it.
stranger.
Uh-huh. Heist goes wrong.
Mhm.
I feel like the engineer and our hero should be like really going for something, but the moody teen is like on comms or whatever and being like, you guys gotta get out of there, get out. Like I feel like that's a good way to introduce all 3 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, because moody teen's got to be angry and like you guys are being so stupid right now. I can't believe this. Like, yeah.
And so
like-
they leave, so the corporation shows up, and then
Yeah.
later the villain
Ooh.
shows up, and maybe he sees like the security tapes and then sees the hero.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is personal now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he should first see his like ex-engineer and like his old ship and stuff like that. Like he should see all that, and then like the last shot on the security tape is like the hero looking back up at the security tape and like shooting it out or something.
Mhm.
But like that last moment is when he sees like, oh my god, Bob.
It's you.
I don't know what the hero
Bob.
means.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like that's a cool opening scene. Lots of action, lots
Mhm.
of like quick but easy introductions. Like we get the vibe. Okay, beautiful. How do we introduce the weasel? That's important.
Can the weasel? No, I don't know.
The weasel
weasel-
is the one playing the tapes, like rewinding them, zooming in on things to show that this weasel has tech skills.
Yeah, they're like,
And
oh,
then-
that weasel's actually useful.
As the villain like leaves the room, we see the weasel like put in something into a flash drive and take it and put it in his pocket, and then walk out and join him.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. Okay. Okay. I love that. Okay. So then what's like our ongoing like that's a I think wonderful introduction to everyone. The intern can just be there with coffee.
Yes.
And then like in smaller shoulder pads, obviously.
Oh yeah, inferior shoulder pads.
Yeah, honestly. Then what's like the rising action? Because it's going to start off then with the villain knowing who the hero is, but not vice versa. So how do we raise tension? Like should they still get away with something?
I think they should get away with something, but with enough of a cost that it like really shakes the heroes. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, is this the path for me? I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then you introduce like, oh well, there's this job against the corporation that your friend works at,
Yeah.
and this might be the way that you find a way that you know that this is something you want to do or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because also then that gives like the corporate people a reason to try to find the hero people again. Like if it's with enough of something. Okay, so they get away with a little. Ooh, a key.
A key to something. I don't know. Like you know, one of those things where they're like, here's a little sprinkle of like a quest, and then you go on the
Yeah.
quest to do all the rest of the things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
It's a key. They pull out this thing from the side, and it exactly matches the destroyed Death Star that's crashed into the planet.
If you stand in the exact right position.
It's a big struggle not to reference Star Wars at every single
especially
point.
with sci-fi. I
Yeah.
was thinking, and I was thinking this through, but I was also like, well, I don't want this to be like the Death Star plans.
Fair.
But maybe the first heist is on that corporation, and like they don't get away with stuff, but they get like information that there's
Yeah.
like more
Mhm.
stuff at another site.
Yeah.
And so they go for that.
different
And
Amazon
the
warehouse.
corporation comes in and is like, oh, they got like information about like our secret area.
What if that like is the heist? Like, so they still pull it off, but they're like about to get caught. But like they're being a little too cocky, and that's why the Moody Teens like get out, get out, get out. You are out of time. Like get out of there. But then like they feel a little defeated at the end because like they were about to get to like their heist, whatever. But like the file's been moved to this other location, and so they know where the other location is that the file is. But like, yeah. I feel like that works.
Mhm.
And then, what does the weasel take? Like, what is the weasel?
Stocks.
I think it would be funny if we actually never find out what the weasel does.
Okay,
We just
I
see
love
him
that.
heisting in the background all the time.
Actually,
putting together
yes.
this very complicated scheme, like bribing officials and getting new information and dodging security systems, and we literally never know what he steals.
Oh my god! At some point, can we see the weasel like weasel its way up onto the intern's shoulder, but drop a little poison in one of the coffees?
Dang. Like a
It's like-
sleeping thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
like
God.
that.
I think it'd be fun. Sleeping thing's probably better. I feel like poison might get the weasel caught. But
Yeah. You can maybe like go for like a laxative, like but
Ooh,
not something too
just
like
something that gets someone out of a room at some
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so then that sends our hero and pirate crew on to the next planet, as well as our hero into existential dread of like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, we could have like a moment where the Scottish engineer is like, are you sure you're ready for this? Like, this is your first job kind of thing to the hero. Just to make it like more. Because, like, if he's been like an established pirate for a while, it would be weird that he was questioning it now.
Mhm.
I don't know. Just something little. Okay, so what's this next planet like? Like, what's our plan for that? Or next part of the heist, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a corporate planet, you know, like when corporations, I don't know if they still do this, but provide like housing and a company store and everything. And it's like super dystopian and terrible. It's like one of those planets. So they have to like kind of low profile thing because they're like, we don't work here and we're trying to usurp this corporation.
Yeah.
What if there's like a subplot? Actually, what if like their heist is while also getting a bunch of money? So at some point they discover some super nefarious scheme that the corporation is doing, and this when they get to this planet is when they learn like the rumblings of it. They're like, oh no, Amazon is trying to, I don't know, slaughter union representatives. So we got to stop them.
I actually like that a lot because that can be like the moment where the hero is like, oh, this does have purpose beyond just like stealing.
Yeah, more than just stealing. It's like a not personal gain. It's like for the greater good.
Yeah.
I
You're
like that
benefiting people here.
Han Solo.
It is. This is the better solo movie.
Truthfully, as much as I enjoyed the Han Solo movie, I don't remember a single plot.
Oh no,
I was
but
just
like
saying
that's part of what made it so fun.
Han's arc in episode 4 is like he goes on this job and they get like the Death Star plans. Oh,
Yeah.
well, do they? No.
They just destroy the first one, and he realizes like, oh, you can do more than just be a little thief.
Yeah.
Java. Yeah.
Because he originally leaves and then he like comes in at the end.
Yeah. What a good guy. All right. So they go to their second part of the heist planet. What does that planet look like? Because I'm picturing the first like location of like the corporate building to be like very, very white and like futuristic.
Yeah,
like,
futuristic, but in an obvious dystopian and soulless way. Like it looks
like
all modern,
IKEA.
fancy, but there's no like IKEA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also, what's
It's just
another
awful.
famous forest name?
Famous forest?
Like, yeah, like
Like forest
sort of
in
like
what?
the Amazon. Like,
Oh.
What is like, and that can be like the corporate name.
Ah.
But
Oh.
not making our
Yosemite.
themes subtle at all. Yeah. Oh my god. But okay. Yeah, what does that second planet look like? Because if it's like corporate housing, but not quite like corporate elite, like corporate workers. I don't know.
This is maybe too dystopian in the sense of
Okay.
it's real life, but I don't know if you guys have seen any videos of China where they have like all these prefab, like apartment buildings and townhouses, and they actually spray paint, or it's sort of spray paint like the ground green, so it looks like well manicured lawns, and then no one actually lives in any of them, so like it's very much a facade.
I have seen that. Yeah.
Wait, they make them for what purpose then? Like, do they just sit empty?
Yeah,
I don't know the purpose
Weird.
is. But
it's like I think the United States had this as part of our 2008 recession, but I think it's a big like land speculation thing where investors will scoop up these homes in the anticipation that they can resell them, but there's not a market for it. So it's like what the US faced and China's going through it too.
yeah.
Ah, I see. Weird.
Okay, but I mean that's not bad, honestly. I do feel like it should look like a little like not as like fancy futuristic, but like it should look futuristic and like corporate tech is involved in it, but like in a clearly icky way and like a
Yeah.
clearly like not well applied way.
Like it's affordable, but like not that you like want
but
to live
like
there.
problematic. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. Cool. So that's like good rising action. They find like I like the idea of it being like maybe not calling it union busting, but like I like the idea of it being that corporate is like keeping things in line.
It could be like an automation thing too. Like they're
Yeah.
gonna automate out all the workers and destroy all their jobs.
Yeah.
Mm,
That could be interesting. I like that.
Because that's more of a sci-fi thing than, I mean,
yeah.
true.
not
You get
that
cool
it's
fancy
killer
robots.
but
Yeah.
Better than planet destroying weapons.
Yeah. Okay, so cool. They discovered that. How do we get to the climax, and what is the climax?
Well, I think on this second mission, it should go probably bad again. Like
Okay.
they get discovered, and like probably like either the angry teen or somebody's got to get like captured, probably. So they got to
Yeah.
like do a rescue mission.
I feel like our
Something.
belovable Scottish engineer has to get captured, because I feel like
Aw.
then if Hero and Moody Teen are like trying to get him back, that can be the moment of like, where'd you get that photo?
I think
Yeah.
that, and then also we could have the villain trying to interrogate Scottish engineer.
Oh, but he's
of,
just
like, where are
therapizing
they?
him?
And yeah, exactly. And then just get some great therapy advice that really changes the way he sees the world. It's like maybe
And that's how
I'm
he
in the
starts to
wrong
like
here.
think
Yeah, and then he
about
starts
the,
to
yeah.
Oh,
I like
I
it.
love that. Yeah. Okay.
And the weasel like deal the engineer in on like the like stock stuff or whatever, the thievery, like on the side, like in the background, like afterwards, like he's going back and he's thinking, he's looking through his pictures or whatever, I don't know. And then in the background, the weasel's just like chatting up the.
Here's
It
what
could be
I
like
do.
as the villain like looks out of the window, is like, what am I doing? Is this really
Yeah.
the job for me? And in the background, the weasel is like passing something through the bars of the cell to the engineer.
Yeah, and like the engineer could be talking like quietly in Scottish, but no one understands. And the weasel's like vibing, like.
I feel like the Scottish guy should like pull something out of his sleeve and like hold it down, even if like his hands are like chained to like chair or whatever. He can like kind of like put it down with his fingers and like hand it off to a weasel secretly.
The weasel.
And like that's the only connection we see. We don't know if the engineer gets money or anything like that. We just know that at some point this was a like contact person. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Like bare minimum, like, because I like the idea of the weasel thing being secret. Also, we're at 14 minutes. So
All right, climax time.
Climax. Yeah. How does this all come together?
So they have to go to the big headquarters because that's where the Scottish guy is being held.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
And
gotta
coincidentally,
foil the.
it's also the place of the big heist. So they're like, part of the heist is to get him out and steal
Yeah.
the big money-making thing.
I like that
Yeah.
because we can have like a false confidence moment from the hero being like, plain simple, it just changed a little. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so they've got to go in there and get their information plus their little buddy. When what if like when they get the buddy, like they get to the room and it's like a little too easy, and like the villain's there waiting for them? Like, is there a confrontation moment, or has he worked it out in therapy ahead of time?
I think there's still a confrontation moment because I don't think he should like truly abandon his corporate life until he actually does talk with the hero.
Yeah, I like that.
Like he starts doubting, but he's still trying to stop them. And then they like middle of the heist, things are going wrong, alarms blaring, you hear explosions in the distance. They're running through the hallway and they stop. Down the hallway is the villain, and then there's like a standoff.
What if at that point the villain's like, you stole my crew, you stole my job, you stole my kid? Like, you know, like what if he's like a little mad about that? And then Hero's like, we could do it together. Or like, look,
Although,
man, I don't know if I like this job, or like
wouldn't
something.
it be the opposite? Didn't we say that the villain abandoned them?
Yeah, he did. But then like seeing like abandoning it, but then seeing himself like fully replaced is a different story, you know? Like there's still like some emotional baggage with that. Because he could also be talking to our little Scottish man and be like, you sure it's not like too late? Like pretty much seems like you're fine without me, kind of thing. I don't know.
Should the twist for that moment be like they're having that discussion or the standoff, and then like the little intern finds, they're like, you used to be a pirate, and then they like
That's
do like
the moment
a whole
he's gonna
thing.
get him fired. Yeah,
exactly, and they get him like fired or captured or whatever, and then they do that thing where they're like both sad and captured, and then he's like, blah blah blah, blah, heartfelt moment, blah blah blah, and then they're like, well, you could join us, and then he's like, I could, and then he's like, whoosh,
wait,
heist.
Yeah, rips off the shoulder pads. But like, what about in the? Oh, actually, the intern should rip off the shoulder.
True. The intern should rip off the shoulder pads.
But like, what about if in that moment where they're both sad and being like, "Oh, we're all captured," what if the like hero is like, "I really like this aspect of like piracy and everything like that, but I miss like the type of like structure or like whatever that I got from corporate life." And the corporate guy is like, I don't know, I really miss like the community and like family aspect of like pirate life, and I really miss that. And they figure out that they can blend their like strengths and weaknesses and like
please tell me they're
great
corporate pirates.
Yeah, corporate. Oh my god.
White collar criminals.
Yes.
No, but they could just like create like a system or something. Like the hero could be like, look, I'm good at the planning part, I'm not good at the execution part. Because that can be a thing, is he's like, my plans are like flawless, I'm just bad at doing them, right? Like I'm not a good enough pirate to like do them, but you have the chops. Whatever.
The missing piece.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be like an interesting thing. And then following action could be them like all breaking out, right?
Finishing
like,
the heist.
Yeah.
Stopping the assassination.
Sabotaging the automation.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, hear me out. What if they're all in there and they're like coming up with all these elaborate plans to try to break out of their cell or whatever, and then the weasel like comes up, like unlocks the door, or like just weasels between the bars or whatever to just talk to them for a second, and is like essentially doing his interpretive dance of like, here you go, here's how you do this plan, here's how you do everything, but then like really the weasel is just creating a distraction for his heist so that he can do his heist. So
But
they
as
can do
in the
theirs.
background, you see his own team of mismatched weasels and other animals run past the door.
Disguised
Yeah.
weasel.
Yeah.
They all have to like look like the other characters, but like in animal form.
I love that. You have one really preppy weasel. You have one that looks Scottish. But- okay, cool. I think that's beautiful. I don't know about you guys, but
I
I
love
feel
it.
like that's really fun.
Mhm.
Okay, what else do we want to throw in there? Like, what are missed opportunities in this story that we feel need to be rectified?
A sequel hook. So
Ooh.
the intern
Yeah.
opens up, goes into like the corporate office. You see like a shadowy face in the background. He's like, they got away. The plan's ruined. What are we gonna do? And then they emerge from the spotlight, and it's Darth Maul. And then
Wait, is it the intern that's Darth Maul, or is it the shadowy?
no,
like...
the shit like CEO of the corporate.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I was like, wait.
This really is just Solo.
Yeah.
What if it's like the intern is like talking a la like Kia to Darth Maul and is like, oh my god, can you believe it? Like they got away. Oh no. And then slowly but surely the chair turns around and it's a giant man-sized weasel and there's subtitles that say like something along the lines of like, no, I wanted them to get away, like this is only the beginning kind of thing.
Yeah. Wait, so is that like the weasel's father?
Yes.
Ah!
But that's the
both
big reveal for the
storylines
second
together.
film. Yeah.
That's the biggest, actually, that's like the biggest part, yeah. It's just the fact that it's like the weasel's family ties all along, honestly.
Yeah.
The weasel's obviously the most important character.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. And then, so they're going to be co-captains then from
I
then
like
on?
co-captain and like have one of them be like, you know, the big idea planner and one of them the day-to-day like executor kind of thing, because that's the best way to run a business, is to not just like figure that one person can do it all. Should the weasel be a stowaway on the ship, or should they just like know that he's there?
Well,
Side note.
I feel like
I
he
think-
wouldn't leave his weasel, the villain.
What?
Wait, because like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought we were talking about other weasels leaving weasels, and I was like,
oh,
but no, I feel like the villain and weasel are besties.
Yeah.
yeah.
The weasel should be like obviously wealthy. Like he's replaced his suit with like
Yeah.
a golden
Yes.
covered suit, and he's got like really fancy sunglasses. He's smoking a cigar.
Oh my god, we like cut to the ship. The weasel is closing a tiny hatch in the floor, a la like floorboard, but it's space. And there's a bunch of gold in there. And then he walks out into the group where everyone's talking about like, man, what a good family we are. Like,
Yeah.
with a little weasel smirk.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. 5 minutes. Anything else we want in there? Or did we just do it? Did we just beat Hollywood in 55 minutes?
I do want to say, are we gonna flesh out more about like the child and the parent?
I feel like, yeah, what's their like reunion like?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's gotta be angry.
Yeah,
least
moody
at the
teen is
beginning.
moody. Yeah.
Yeah.
The villain's a whole ass villain. Like, he can't be pure.
Yeah. Would the villain meet the teen as they're like, when they would be apologizing? Would it be like the parent being like, I'm sorry, you're right, I shouldn't have done that, and then the Looney Tune's like, yeah, you suck. They're like, you're right.
I do feel like the teen
Like
has
that
to
kind
be
of thing?
resistant towards
Oh, yeah.
the idea of like villain coming back into their life. Yeah, I'm picturing lines like, how do I know you won't just like leave again kind of thing. Like very angsty little, like, yeah, you abandoned me once. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how does the villain convince the teen?
Setting up for the sequel.
Fair. Yeah, I like it. I feel like we can have like a moment where the in that moment, like the villain releases the Scottish man, and like Scottish engineer is like, just give him a chance, lassie, and then that's when the intern sees like, oh my god, you just let like this pirate go.
Yeah. It's like, oh, how dare you?
I don't know, man. I feel like we kind of did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of
Hire us, Hollywood.
nailed that.
Original story.
Come
Yeah.
to Netflix this spring.
In less than an hour, with 2 minutes and 48 seconds remaining, we have a story, folks.
Boom.
Alrighty, well, what rained on y'all's parades?
Snow rained on my parade.
I get
It was
that.
so cold.
Yeah.
It's been very cold, yeah.
I don't think snow should happen before like late November at the earliest. Ideally, it's December, but I'll accept it for November.
Yeah, November 1st, you can snow. Before
No,
then,
November,
it's too
like,
early.
20th.
November Thanksgiving, yeah, like like late November.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't think it should drop below like 50s before Halloween.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe global warming's good for some things.
It's 38 degrees out right now.
Yeah, it's 44
What is it
here.
Let's see. We're 52 over here.
I was just about to check the weather. I'm like, no, it's the same. It's cold.
It's just cold. Mine, happy thing, I'm going on like a little trip this weekend, which is exciting. Love to hear it. Love to do it. But what I realized is I hate packing. It's so stressful for like going somewhat far away, because it's you feel like you're like, oh my god, I'm just gonna forget everything I've ever needed ever. And like theoretically, no, you're not. Like you just need a good list and everything like that. But I feel like I went over like my bag like 50 times to be like, okay, do I actually have the things that I need, or am I blatantly forgetting everything I've ever owned?
Yeah.
I do always have that feeling like I forgot something.
Yeah.
Like, over the summer, I kind of went back and forth between Iowa and home in Illinois, and every single time I left from one to the other, I was like,
Yeah,
forgot something.
something's still there. Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
it's
never
just-
did, but you always
Yeah.
have that feeling.
I don't know if I've ever like if it's ever been like super detrimental. I forgot something super important. But that fear is always there, and it just makes packing stressful. Yeah. What about you guys?
I had a good thing. 2 weeks ago, I had a robot. This is school related.
Sure.
I had a robot that just would not work. I spent a whole
That's
3
right.
hours trying to get to work. It just would not respond.
Yeah.
But today, I opened it up. I like went to my teacher. I was like, "Hey, this thing does not work." And he's like, "Oh, okay, show me." And so I pull it up. It works perfectly fine. I was like, what the heck?
Amazing.
All I
It
had
just
to do is
needed
get the
to do.
teacher there,
Yeah.
The magic touch.
And I was
Those-
like, wait, it's gonna break here, and it didn't. He was like, I think it's working fine. I was like, yeah, it is.
Those moments are so like bittersweet, because
Yeah.
part of you is like, damn it proved me wrong.
Yeah.
But then part of you is like, well, at least it's doing what I wanted.
Exactly. I was like, dang, I was a little annoyed. I was like, wow, you had to prove me wrong here. But
Yeah. But good. I'm glad it's working though. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
I guess I will just repeat something I told you guys earlier, which was that, voting season is upon us.
Yes.
Everyone should go vote. I was trying to make sure that my brother would vote, so I texted him, be sure to request your mail-in ballot so you can vote. And he responded, what am I voting for, and how do I do that? So good thing I texted him.
Adam
and he then asked
Jr..
me so many questions that I was like, this is basic knowledge. And I was like, here you can register by this link, and here's where you can request a mail-in ballot here. And then I reminded him again today, and he's like, oh, I completely forgot about that.
I'm glad he seemingly cares enough about it to like ask you follow-up questions.
I might be
Um,
overrepresenting the quality of questions he asked. It was
I
more
was
on the level of
trying
like,
to-
there's an election right now, like that kind of stuff.
I was trying to hype him up. I'm glad that he isn't like blatantly outright like, I don't care about that, I'm not voting kind of thing. I'm glad
Yes.
that he at least is like, okay, send me the link kind of thing, or like, how do I do it? More than like just being like, who cares? which I know some people they like, so that's nice. He's doing it.
Well, we'll see. I reminded him again today, and I'll
Is-
probably remind him again tomorrow. 'cause I
It's
doubt
Rainy
he'll have
Tuesdays
done it.
canon. He's doing it, which means it's a fact. Yeah.
I also, real quick, have a correction to issue. My
Okay.
mom finally got around to listening to our Mother's Day episode, and she requested that I clarify that. How did she word it? That she does not yell at people when she's trying to fix something. She's just very assertive. So,
Fair enough.
I believe it. Yeah.
which is true. This isn't just something that she's like, you gotta go on your podcast and make sure people don't think I'm a bad person. But she's not a Karen. She is
No.
just getting what she is owed.
Mhm.
She
Yeah.
ends up with a lot of issues with like customer service, so
Mm.
she'd really get screwed over if she was not.
I want to be clear. I feel like that's the vibe that you gave off, which is
Okay,
why
good.
I agreed and said that I was
Yeah.
the same way, because I also don't like yell at people on the phone. I'm just like, hey, I need a thing. Like,
Mhm.
please do the thing, please. I feel like,
I was
Yeah.
like, I don't think I represented you like that, but I will make sure
yeah,
to set the record straight on tonight's episode or next week's, I guess.
right. Well, we love that. And as we know, because it is now said, even if it contradicts something else, it is now fact. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I'm glad.
Check us out on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we have social
We have a
media.
TikTok now.
I did a TikTok. I'll post more on there. I'm learning. And we have an Instagram. We have a website. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. We have a YouTube. You can watch us there. We have video on Spotify. There's questions on Spotify. This is more promo than we've ever done for ourselves. There's weekly questions and polls on Spotify. Those are fun.
Are they really?
If I remember to do them.
Okay, I was like,
there is one for
I
this
want
week
to take
for
a
sure.
poll.
There's things that you can do. You can email us. I might at some point make a Twitter, but who's to say? I'm not committing to that. Anyway, write a movie. It's pretty fun. I just had a great time. I see why people at
And make
home
sure
would
to
do
always
it.
have a separate movie in the background of your movie,
Yes.
because that's what makes it all
Double
better.
movies trump movies every single time. That's
Then
just the
people
rule of the
will
game.
watch it.
Yeah. It's rewatchability is huge. All right. Well, check out the video version of this for the secret weasel that was in it. Definitely. Have a sunny Wednesday.
Bye.